Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is currently still in this descending broadening wedge here that you can see on the chart in this sort of wedge pattern. And until it breaks to the upside, we have not really a sufficient signal that price is already in the fifth wave. It should still get another move up. The reason I say that, unless something completely surprising happens, the move down looks corrective. Okay, so it's very choppy. That's exactly what we want to see in this sort of corrective price action. It yesterday fulfilled our expectation for this move down to go below the low of the A wave. And the idea was to go a little lower because the typical magnet for a fourth wave is the 38.2 retracement level. So we talk here about $210. That is the typical magnet for such a fourth wave. You can see that the fips are relevant because it reacts to the 23.6 fib level. I had a few questions, why are the fips like that? Well, I did draw them from the beginning of the third wave, which is here the low at $100, to the top of the third, and that gives you the retracement areas for the fourth. This is log, okay? So we can go to linear chart. You can see on the linear chart, price didn't really respect them that well. So sometimes it's worth checking, especially on a chart like that, which rallies like crazy and you get these crazy extensions. Sometimes it's worth checking which fips price adheres best to, and then just use that sort of, use the fips from that chart type, yeah. And here you can see price didn't, even though it was dancing around the 23.6 fib level, didn't really respect it, and also it hasn't touched the 38.2 yet. So my take is leave it a bit more space, and we have reacted twice now clearly to the 23.6 fib level, so it's clearly respecting the fibs. Okay, so we're going with that, and you get different fibs on the log and the linear charts. They are not massively different. Okay, they're not massively different, especially on smaller time frames. But on some charts, they make a huge difference, and it's worth over time you figure out which ones are should be used for which chart. Realized in this bear market that for some charts it makes more sense to use linear, for some charts log, but that there isn't really the answer. There are Elliott Wave analysts who use log, there are Elliott Wave analysts who use linear, and the problem is if you use longer term charts, log should always be used in my opinion. Shorter time frame, it depends on the time frame or the length of the chart you look at. On the shorter time frame charts, linear is typically what I prefer. What else to say? Yeah, and the point is if you can't recognize the waves, then you should use log. So some crypto charts, when you use linear, you can't recognize the waves, so how can you do wave counting, right? So that's sort of but anyway, I use these because price is adhering to it. Yeah, they say that in the original Elliott Wave book, not the original one, but the Elliott Wave principle. When you have a chart, it's worth checking both, and the one that adheres best to, if the chart adheres better to one than the other, use the one that the chart respects. So we've got 249 here support, and at the moment the move up since that fib level is not convincing, so it's likely going to follow here this count further and does another drop maybe, yeah, one more low. You know that they don't always work out those last lows, but it's not the point. I always say don't trade the count, trade the pivots, trade the relevant levels that our wave count reveals. Micro counts are naturally there to be changed frequently, so be aware of that. And this looks like an ending diagonal. Now, in diagonals, you have to expect changed wave counts. It could even be that we are still in the third wave, so that this is just an A wave of wave 3, a B wave, and a C wave to come. But for now, we tentatively label it like that. And then we'll see if we get to the 210 level. And you need to be watching for a breakout above the descending trend line here to the upside, because that could spark an earlier rally pretty swiftly from around about 285 to 395. I think one more hike could happen. After that, we have a major decision point, because this could be the completion of a larger ABC structure as highlighted earlier. ABC, this is generally still a bearish chart context. It can develop more bullishly. Yeah, certainly something more bullish can develop here on this chart. Just be aware that it's overall a bearish chart context, so upside isn't guaranteed. If it turns down earlier, it would just be in line with a larger degree wave count, which is still looking for another low. But for short-term trading positions or short-term trend, it's clear as the trend is clearly up, we're focused on higher and until support breaks. And if support breaks, that's the warning that it could take us to new lows. But short term, up, and the trend is up as long as it's up. So we're following the relevant support levels. And at some point, if it's more bullish than the larger wave count suggests, then we will have to change the larger degree assumption. Just be aware that Bitcoin Cash is a coin that lost like 98% of its value compared to Bitcoin. So in my opinion, there's nothing bullish. In the short term, there is. So there is certainly some positive sentiment ongoing, but you can see that, again, a lot of people probably bought here at the spike, and it's just necessarily see that deep correction that happens, and a bit of a washout, a bit of a bore out. That correction can take longer than you think from experience. So be aware this could take a little longer. But again, the signal that a breakout occurs would be a break above the descending trend line. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin Cash. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.